He said go. But while we're here, this is my website. Some of you also will recall that I was doing Michael's Corner for many, many years. And so after 14 years of doing it, I just got tuckered, y'all. I just said, that's it. I'm done doing that. So a lot of folks thought I was retiring, which I am clearly not. And you know what I thought about this morning? If I ever do retire, if I am not, but if I ever do retire, I'm going to make the announcement here because all y'all, I know all but 3 of you. So it's like, hi, these are my kids. So the reason I brought this out here is if you guys have any questions on AutoCAD tips and tricks, you can go to that website. It's right there, Michael's Corner Archive, or this is the book of 14 years of Michael's Corner AutoCAD tips and tricks, 300 pages of AutoCAD tips and tricks, and I have several of them. You can get that at the bottom of the website. It's like $45. That was a shameless plug, but some of you are wondering, hey, do you have more information on AutoCAD? That's over. Next, in our workbook, that again, you can download, those of you that were a little later coming in. This is the workbook that I'm going to be going through, and I write this up mainly to keep me on task, of course, because I could just go off and talk about AutoCAD and CET for a week. And when Kelsey says, hey, come to the conference and talk about AutoCAD, I says, how many days do I have? She says, you got an hour. And I go, okay. So what we're going to talk about mainly is how to clean up your drawings before importing it into CET Designer. So that's there. How to unpack what's effectively the XREF equivalent in CET Designer. There's that equivalent on both sides, on both the AutoCAD side and on the CET side. So I want to take that apart for you. We have Buku 2020 CAP drawings that we have and what happens to them when we bring them into CET. Excuse me, and there are a few other questions regarding what do we do with Revit drawings. Now we're not talking about RevLink today, that does exist, but I do want to show you what you can do if you just need to get a drawing out of Revit and bring it into CET Designer. Also, how to import 2D walls from AutoCAD. So we have obviously floor plans. That's the point of the exercise, right? Clean up the drawing, get her down to the stuff we care about, and then bring it into CET Designer, and you can trace them. We are also going to talk about how to create 3D walls in AutoCAD. Many of you are familiar with Extrude, but there's also a really cool feature called Press Pull that if you are more comfortable with doing AutoCAD walls in AutoCAD and doing it out there and then making your 3D and then bringing it in, we're going to take a look at that as well. Okay, so that's on tap. And by the way, most of the AutoCAD features covered in this presentation I have put on a tool palette. Yum. So right there is a tool palette. Now those of you I have trained before know I am all over tool palettes. It is the coolest thing in all of AutoCAD. The quick access toolbar at the top is the second coolest thing. But what I did is I thought, shucks, there are so many places y'all need to go to clean up a drawing. I'm just going to make a tool palette for y'all. So that will also be downloadable at the same place that this that the workbook that's going to be available for you. Okay. All right. Next. So you've got all this software. You have AutoCAD, you have CET Designer, you have Project Matrix or 2020 CAP, and all these things. And of course, my kids are saying, well, what can I cut back on? All right. Don't want to address anything other than the fact that if you have an AutoCAD license and you're purely using AutoCAD to open up an AutoCAD drawing from an architect, you do not need a full license of AutoCAD. Turns out that there is, of course, many of you know, AutoCAD LT. It does not stand for light, y'all. It stands for laptop. When it came out back in the late 90s, this stood for laptop. And back in the 90s, the laptops didn't have a lot of memory and didn't have a large hard drive, so they took most of AutoCAD. They disabled the ability to do external routines. They disabled the ability to do 3D solids, and everything else in AutoCAD is in AutoCAD LT, which is only $390 a year, as opposed to $1,500 a year that your company may be spending for a perpetual AutoCAD license. So when looking at what might you be able to cut back on as you have your champions that are going full on, maybe bring those back a little bit. Maybe just get an AutoCAD LT license, okay? You're welcome. I just saved you $1,400 a year. All right, next. There are a lot of things you can do to optimize the drawing, and that's what I was talking about here. I'm going to make a tool palette. We're going to go through this tool palette. What we're going to also do, guys, is we're going to open up this drawing that many of you who I've been with before. I know, right? Michael, it's a stealth bomber. Okay. So anyhow, I know. I will never forget Simon. Simon was at Pivot years ago, and he said, "Michael, where'd you get that drawing?" And this was out in California. And I says, "Well, this is in the sample file of Autodesk." He says, "I know what that is. That's at Borland. Remember that? It was at Borland up in Scotts Valley." I said, "Shut up." So this is really a building. Now the people in there aren't real, but or the furniture. But the thing is, I will never forget. And I just had chills. Simon says, "I know that building." Anyhow, sidebar. So this is in your AutoCAD sample folder, and here's your path, guys. Okay, so when you go to look this up so that you can use the tool palette and do the things that I'm doing, you can use that one there. All right, by the way, I would recommend you save the drawing you will be cleaning up. One of the things we talked about at our lunch table was that you guys are now facing a lot of new file naming concerns, right? The name of the drawing when you get it, the name of the drawing when you export it, the name of the drawing that you take from CET and bring over into AutoCAD, then the name of the drawing that you take. So you really need to ramp up your file management skills and thoughts, right? And come up with a file naming convention, y'all, because there are going to be things that are going in and out, and I know y'all are going, where did I put it? And that's what we have to concern ourselves with. So what I was thinking is maybe the drawing that you're cleaning up, you add a suffix of cleanup, all right? So on your tool palette, I have a button for Save As. And so you put Save As. That simply opens up the Save As dialog box. And I'll just put -cleanup on the back end of this one, right? Practice what I preach. There we go, okay? Now, when you get a drawing from Job Architect, you click in the drop-down list and you see dark light bulb, snowflake, snowflake, dark light bulb, snowflake, and you go, what is it that I can't see, right? So my favorite command, one of my favorite commands, is layer walk. So the layer walk dialog box is found under the expanded layers panel right here, okay? But I thought, hey, don't make them make 2 clicks, put it on the tool palette. So layer walk will be on your tool palette, all right? In layer walk, the blue ones are visible, the white ones are either off or frozen. So you will open some drawings, and this is a short layer list. You've seen layer lists that go from here to Miami. And the other thing is you will open them up and it'll look like a zebra. Blue guy, white guy, blue guy, white guy. And so what we have in here, first of all, is a right-click menu. And I like to save my layer state. And when you send me your drawing, say, Michael, what's wrong with this drawing? Can you help me out? I say, well, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to call this original. So I'm going to just go in there because you got to improper. That was probably the Swedish spelling, original. Because Peter's in the back. That's how you spell original. So we want to save the drawing you received because you know you click on the dark light bulbs and snowflakes, and then you go, how do I put it back? Right? So you want to save your layer state. Here's the other thought. Here's the thought that I have here in the book. Right-click menu with Select All. So in the circumstance this thing comes up like a zebra, you right-click in here, you hit Select All. That is the fastest way on the planet, y'all. You will turn on and thaw all the layers in a drawing. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. Next, when you open up Layer Walk, notice down here at the bottom, there's this little Restore on Exit. If that box is checked, when you close, it'll put Humpty Dumpty back on the wall. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to clear that checkbox and then click Close. And so at least now, guys, we can see what it is that we've been sent, with the goal being to clean it up. Okay? All right. You may also need to unlock any locked layers, but that's included on the tool palette. What? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up here, and there is a previous layer previous condition. So over here on the right, or in the tool palette rather, bless you, I have a button that says layers, everybody on the bus. So you click layers and boom, everybody comes on, and it includes a procedure that will unlock any drawings that are, any layers that are locked. The question, you know, just as a sidebar might also be, what about XREF layers? Absolutely, it's a layer, dude, right? And so if I've got a button that turns them on and unlocks them, you're going to see them, okay? So that's what we want to have at the get-go. Look, we're on page 2. All right, next. So you go into, is this what I want to talk about? Yes. So when you hover on a line, please hold. I got to set my pick box more bigger. I'll use that smaller one when we go to the 3D bits. When you hang out on a line and you have this rollover tooltip, okay, now I set my rollover tooltip to include a length and an angle, and you'll see it when I get to blocks. It'll show all the attributes and bits. But what's wrong with this button right here? What's wrong? Why is yellow wrong? It should say what, y'all? should say by stupid layer, right? So these architects who don't need training, they'll go out there and they'll do these things, and they'll pick up a Sharpie and they'll draw with yellow, and then they'll draw with green or whatever, and then we get it. Well, when it goes over into CET, we want to have things, you know, true to the layer bits. So there's a feature in AutoCAD called Set To By Layer, and that's on the expanded Mortify panel, but I have a button over here, Auto Change to By Layer. Now what I should probably do, here, let's do this. I'll do it, this is how you do it. Select the objects, or sorry, when it says select objects, and this is in the book, you want to type all. Okay, so that says everybody out there, I need all y'all seen. That's why we did the first thing, right, turn all the layers on. Then you press enter again, and then you press enter for yes, yes, yes. But instead of you typing the button on the tool palette here that says auto change to by layer, you click it, you walk away, and everything is set up. It just boom. I was doing a training at Mark's Moda a few weeks ago, and one of the ladies had gotten a drawing from Joe Bob, architect, and she, for the life of her, could not make that critter black and white. And she finally unpacked it after several tries, as I know that you guys do, and she finally boiled down to that and found it was a bi-layer thing. She says, oh, dear, I could have just used that. I says, yes. And so this is what I think going forward, whether you use it exclusively for cleaning up your drawing for CET or just, you know, Joe Bob working in AutoCAD, that might be helpful too. Okay, next in the book. Purge. Now, when you create a layer and put nothing on it, then that layer is empty, and of course that's what Purge would do. It would take out those items that are unused, or those what they call named objects that are not being used. You add a chair, you delete the chair, and so you still have a definition of the chair, but you no longer have the chair presence as a reference. So in the Purge dialog box, and many of you are familiar with this, I know, but when you go in there, the bottom 4 check boxes should be configured this way, and that's what I have here in the book. Okay, you don't want to confirm each item to be purged. That's silly. Purge nested, okay, so you do want to have that. Purge zero length geometry and empty text objects. You take a line, you click on it, you take the grip on this side, and you put it in the grip on that side. What do you got, dude? You got a dot. So that's empty text, or that's zero length geometry. You put in text, you double click on the text, it says configure, and you hit a backspace, and boom, now all you have is a space, right? So that's an empty text object. That's what those are referring to. This was added, probably 6 or 7 versions ago, but we didn't have that for many, many years. So you want to do the purge, and you want to do that one. But you have to go in there, maybe click all the little buttons. So on your tool palette is an auto purge. So you click auto purge, and behind the scenes it just did all of that. Okay, and when I go into purge now, it's clean, dude. Lock and load, rock and roll, have on with it. Okay, so that's on there. See, there's all these different places to go to clean up. I thought, I'm not having my girls go there, my folks go there. Okay, all right, next. Sorry, sidebar. There's 3 guys. So, page 3, delete duplicate objects. I was doing a training for Compassion International over in Colorado Springs, and God love them, they had opened up this drawing, and y'all can look at a drawing and tell how big that is. It's about a 2 meg drawing, it's about a 1 meg drawing. So they had a drawing that was 7 meg, and there is no silly way that thing was 7 meg. Turns out they had 3 iterations of the flower play-in on top of each other. And so they were giddy when we were talking about delete duplicate objects. Now it has to be spider on a mirror. It's got to be the exact same thing. I'm talking height, I'm talking attributes, everything is duplicate. That's what this will get rid of. And so this again is for these drawings you get from Joe Bob. Okay, architect. I'm sure there's a guy named that someplace. On the home tab, okay, on the modify panel, there's a little broom. Okay, this little broom, delete duplicate objects. And up pops prompt comes up, says select objects and so on. Now, what I'm going to do is I have a button for the automatic delete duplicate objects. When you pick the button, however, you will have to click OK out of here. I couldn't get the macro to move forward because this has no command line presence, so I couldn't put it all in one spot. Excuse me, but you go in there, the defaults are just fine. The defaults are dandy. And you click OK. And boom. And it went out there. This drawing is crazy. Here, you guys can't see it in the back, probably. Let me move this up. 34 duplicates were deleted. 2,382 overlapping objects or segments were deleted. So you will have drawings where you have a line, right, and there's another skinny jeans line underneath it, right? And so you go to pick that other one, and you can't seem to get that second one. That's what this does. It deletes the things that are, or end-to-end kind of things. They've drawn a wall that actually is 2 segments. You go to midpoint, and you get 2 midpoints, right? Because I got this bit. That's what this fixes. Okay, so use that one. That is the, and I don't want to do a whole, mirror thing, but this delete duplicate objects is under the modify tool panel. I just automated the process a smidgy bit for you. Okay, all right, next. Sometimes you'll get these drawings that just have you get the reflected ceiling plan and the parking lot layout and the landscape. It's like, dude, I need walls, doors, and windows, and that's it. So there is the paring it down with turning off the layers and such, but there's some of them you go, can I just get rid of that layer? Just get rid of that layer. So there's one of my favorites. I got 26 favorites. So I have a favorite over here, layer delete. I love layer delete. So you go into layer delete and you go, I need the columns, but dude, I do not need the column lines going through the drawing. That deletes. We're not just turn it off, y'all. This is bye-bye. Okay, so that gets rid of that. Now, out here, oh, and then when you do this, and I have a little note, okay, a little note. Memo, the default option to delete layers is nuh-uh. So down here at the bottom after press enter, do you want to continue? And I've had any number of people, we just do that. We always press enter, right? Well, that just put them back up there and you go, well, what happened? Well, you got to watch what it says on. So at that point you say sure, and you want to get rid of those ones. Now, with respect to the tool palette, on this drawing, there are computers from 1997. And so, so you have this auto layer delete. So I'm going to click the auto layer delete. I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to, so this is just a onesie, and get rid of the phones, that kind of things. So you can get rid of those kind of things using the tool palette, or you can do the layer delete button that you saw out there before. Now, the other thing, we've all had situations where there will be a layer that for the life of you cannot get rid of. You will order Chinese at 5:30 and stay in just to spend time to get rid of that one layer that has nothing on it. Will go away. It will not go away. So what I have is there's also a feature on here that when you go into layer delete, notice the lone option we have, guys, is a name option, okay? So I put a separate button on here last night because I couldn't make it work off of the default button. So here's layer delete by name. And I put layer delete by name, and the dialog box comes up, says, bring it. What layer do you want to get rid of? So clearly you know the name. You spent 3 hours trying to get rid of it. So you can come down here, you go, you know what, I just can't get rid of iWall E. And then you click OK. Says, so, dude, well, it doesn't say dude, but it says, this will be deleted. Do you want it? You go, yeah, there you go, go home. Okay, that's it. So that's how you get rid of those layers that will not purge out. Okay? How are we doing so far? So far, so good? We having fun yet? Woo! Okay. Time. Shoot fire. Okay. Next, there's the name option. Top of page forward, which is a 2-syllable word south of the Ohio River. So I got Birmingham jokes coming. So here's what Michael play on. So sometimes we get these drawings that have way too many layers. We have way too many layers in this A-wall-int, A-wall-int, oh, for Pete's sake, call it core. Call it something just generic. So what we're going to do is we're going to merge these layers together. I'm not as pleased about the merge layer button that I have on the tool palette, so I'm just going to drive from here. And so in layer merge, you select the layers to be merged to another layer. So I'm going to click in here, hit my shift, hold down shift, come back down to ES column. I did not select EB core because that's my target layer, right? That's the one I want to put it onto. Hold down control. I don't want to take the header or the door. And then you just right click and merge selected layers to, and the dialog box comes up with those that you did not select, which is why we did not choose core, right? So I grab EB core, you go okie dokie, says you want to squeeze them all together, you go chase, and so now what you have is a whole lot less purple in that drawing. It's all on just one layer, okay, with the exclusion, of course, of the doors and the headers. So again, trying to get, not that you can't do layery things out in CET, it's just like do it in the place where you're a little more warm and fuzzy, okay? So we like it a little more easily done out here. Okay, So those are the procedures, guys, that you're going to want to use to clean up your drawing, and hopefully that will give you a little, that'll be a little easier for you to do going down there through the tool palette. Now, going back to layer walk, and I just had this recently at a dealership. They says, yeah, they send us the drawing with the furniture. Oh, put the chair here, put this here. Go, thank you so much, but I don't need to see that stuff. So here we are back in layer walk, and so I'm just going to choose what I want to see. Because in layer walk, you can click on it and go arrow down, arrow down, arrow down, arrow down. That's the whole thing about layer walk. It's just totally cool about what he got, and it just, you can go on through there and see them. Okay, so I'm just going to grab the layers that I want to see, okay, and then go down to the bottom and click close. And gosh, that's all I need in CET, man. You're looking at it, right? All right, so WBlock. There's a bit of a history to that goes way back to early versions of AutoCAD. I won't go into it. But WBlock, gang, is a verb. It is not a noun. Dear ones, you do not have a WBlock at the end of this procedure. You have a drawing. You have a drawing at the end of the WBlock. You can say, I have a WBlock. I know what you mean, but it's not accurate. Okay, you have a drawing. So WBlock is another way is the fourth way of creating a drawing. So how do you do that? Well, you can type dub. So warriors. So W, okay, and 3 of you got that. And so out here over on the right-hand side, I have a little pointy thing. Okay, so right over here is a little browse button. So hit your browse button. I will go into my session A over here, and we'll call this, oh, now here's another major memo. We're making another drawing. So the first time we made a drawing was the one we were going to clean up, and we put a suffix of cleanup on it, right? So this one is intended to go to CET, right? So wouldn't it be really cool if we thought ahead as we were doing this and put a prefix of CAD for CET? So you have these drawings that now among your dealerships and or among your peers, okay, if Amanda made this CAD for CET, we full on know what that was intended for, okay? So I'll do CAD for CET, and let's say this is just the Children's Hospital or something, I don't know, whatever. Oopsie. Okay. Yay, going to session A, remind me if I forget where that is. Okay, cool. So that's the one thing. Now, if I were doing save or save as, I'd be done. But the beauty of WBlock is I get to pick that which goes to the drawing. So I hit my Select Objects button up here, and you window this, and you enter, and that's the only thing that's going to go. I typically encourage people to leave the 0, base point when you're doing things that are floor plans. But you can WBlock out, circular table and chairs, and use WBlock for those other things, like WBlock out a 3D pod. Don't leave it laying around in your drawing. You know, WBlock that thing out and have a separate drawing. So, use that in other applications. All right, so you click Okie doke out of that. You see a real quick flash up in the top left corner. It says, here's your drawing. Okay. Right, you can change the color in CET, but did y'all know that starting in AutoCAD 2017, when you imported a PDF, it turns into Polylines? Wait, what? So you import a PDF. If you have 17, 18, or 19, 19 is out and working like a champ. Okay, 19 works, bless you, with cap and everything. But when you bring in a drawing that was a PDF created electronically, the lines turn into polylines. So that is a PDF, moments ago was a PDF, and that came in as a polyline. Now granted, it is not one-to-one, as you might suspect, but we all know about the scale command with reference. You pick 2 points, hey, make this 3 feet, and on a door, and you got it, go baby, go. Okay, so now you don't have to trace anything. But I just wanted to mention that. You do have that feature, it turns into polylines. Not a scanned drawing, guys. So you can't take one that was taken to, San Jose Blue, run through it, and hey, here's your PDF. That's not going to turn into polylines. But as long as it was electronically created, you got yourself a PDF with or lines made out of the PDF. I have until what? What's my time? 2:40 to what? 1:10. Add 50. 2 o'clock. Okay, keep going. Sorry. Good talk. Round trip, 220? Oh, take your time. Okay, thank you. Because I did this with, I know, right? So I did this with Kelsey, and I'm jamming through, and she said, good, you were within 1 minute. I go, oh my word. So, all right, so breathe, Michael. Okay. So, back in CET, whoopsie, that was Revit. Back here in CET, okay? We're now talking about the round trip of the drawing. We've got it cleaned up. We've learned a little bit of things about PDFs. We've saved the drawing with file naming conventions that make sense, okay? Now we're ready to import this. This is the one where you use WBlock to create a drawing with the prefix of CAD for CET, right? So, back in the mothership, we go up to the File menu, Import, Export, Import CAD Drawing. And our dialog box comes up. Up here at the top, you grab your Import New. And there's a reason why I already have a workstation in there that I discovered when training, doing the virtual training a year or so ago. I showed this to my co-trainer, Carrie, and she goes, well, that's really cool. So let's take a look at this. So we're going to go into, where did I put that? Session A, right? So look how convenient that is to see. CAD for CET. Cool, sweet. So double down on that. The defaults are fine. I did make a note here. I remember when I came to Configura the first time to get my training that it was mentioned that down here at the bottom under Advanced Settings, and I think it's the default now, y'all, you want to have this display non-renderable entities. I think that is the default anymore, but I remember checking when in the training, and I thought, oh gosh, mine wasn't set, and I had just installed it. So just make sure that's set to that. That'll be when it comes into 3D, right? So you can see the stuff in 3D. All right, okie doke. Okay, I was wondering about that, how long that bobber could float out on that lake for you. There it went. So very rarely are you going to have a drawing in AutoCAD move off of 0, 0. In all CAD applications, there is an X and a Y, and where they cross is 0, 0. The ones in AutoCAD aren't moving. You bring it into CET, 20 bucks says that's not moving. I don't bother to do that. I'm sure there is a reason for that, but when bringing them in and taking them out, that's just one less step that I bother with. Yeah, they should be okay. So now we have the thing. Now it's in there. Yay. When you click on it, own it, okay, you do have the green box, and in the green box is a lock position checkbox, and you do want to do that. We know it turns gray. The gray is one of the 4 colors in CET, right? So you have your teal, your blue, your teal, your purple, your gold, and your gray, which is locked. Always a good idea. It's the exact equivalent to locking it in AutoCAD, all right? So we have the box. Click on that position, green box, lock it, good, all right? Yes, it is linked, okay? So when you click on it and come over in the green box, come on over to Settings. And when you click on Settings, this goes back to the same dialog box that was there when you were bringing it in, when you imported it. In the top left corner is the name, And now what we'll do is we'll take a look at that and we'll say, oh, does that mean so-and-so? Yes, Stephanie, for you, darling, I will answer a question. Winner of the, whatever it was, you won something. You and W. Yes, ma'am. I see that hand.
I was always told that when you're cleaning up the drawing.
Yes, yes. Yes.
To also explode blocks and get rid of hatching.
You know what? I saw that. I saw that in the, yes, it was something in the briefcase, right, dear?
Supposedly, you can't remove them. So why do you not do that?
I have not totally gone through that, but here's what happens when you explode a block. It'll make the drawing bigger. Blocks actually make the drawing smaller. So if the point of the exercise is get it less, I'm thinking, well, all right, probably not going to do that one. Hatches, yeah, where it's, absolutely, sure. The only thing I can think, Stephanie, is maybe in areas where you did want to highlight something, right? If there was a core area or you had something that was hatched for phasing or something that was important when you got over into CET, then you might want to leave it there. But I like that idea. I think that's a good idea. Sure, get rid of hatches for sure. And again, there are so many variables, right, in AutoCAD. I would certainly check it. That thing regarding exploded blocks, making the drawing larger. Years ago, I checked that out, and it was true, but it was just a smidgy bit. There just wasn't a whole lot of difference. I'm just not a real fan of exploding blocks for much of anything, but I can see what you're saying. But certainly the hatch would be something to consider. I like that. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. But in the here, reload, which is saying to me, you mean if I change that over there and I reload it, it'll be different? Yeah. So this is the first of the two XREF equivalents that I was speaking of at the beginning. So I'm going to come on over here to AutoCAD, close this one, yay, whoop, whoop, PDF-y things. We'll talk about 3D walls in a little bit. And so I'm going to come into this one. This was the, I need to open it. That's the other thing. You ever have the wrong drawing open? You think you're in the right one, and bless your heart, you're banging on that thing for an hour, and then you realize you're the wrong one. Well, here's why look, it says cleanup. Ding, 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 ding. Wrong drawing to be editing, right? So there's another reason why you want to, whoopsie, close. What you want to do is I want to go back into my session A and get my CAD for CET hospital. There you go. So this is the one we want to edit. Come on in here. Let's say we do a field measure. That private office isn't there. Save the drawing. Go back to CET. Come up here to my little button for settings and reload it. Yum. And so there is your XREFedness, if you will. I made that word up. You can use it. With respect to the drawing that's out in AutoCAD that you have brought into CET. Okay? All right, so there's that one. Then, blurbity, blurbity, blur. So now, after adding furniture in CET, what if you need to take it all back to AutoCAD? But first, this is why I did what I did with this whole extra workstation in here. So here you are. Here's your little workspace out in the middle of the ocean. Okay, so you've got this way down here, and you got to get this in here. Well, you got to zoom in and grab this, but watch this. You can actually do this in AutoCAD, and in some of my trainings I've shown people how to do this. So I'm going to grab in my 3D toolbar this little grabby box. That's a technical term. I'm sure that's what Configura thought of. That's a grabby box, or a grabby box. So I'm going to do the grabby box. I'm going to window this here. Okay, it is highlighted. Flip the grabby box off, and then if I click and drag across the county line, I know. Is that whiz bang? Shut up. So I was doing this virtual last year, and you can do this in AutoCAD. So I wasn't thinking a thing about it. I zoom in here. I wonder if I can do this. Oh, shut up. Wait till I tell Carrie. And so I've shown 3 people that, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've shown 44 people this routine. It's real subtle, but these things will happen, right? You've got these Mac Daddy drawings, and then you've got all this stuff out here. Well, now you can just drag it across the county line. That's not in the book, but that you remember that one. Okay, now, how to export the CET drawing back to AutoCAD. So once we have this, now we want to save this one. Here's another file naming convention, right, guys? Because when we brought this in, this was a new drawing, okay? And so I'm actually had my workstation in it. So I'm going to go out and do a save as. So it would be at this point that we want to make CET for CAD. The first one was CAD for CET, right? You got CET for CAD. You're going to have a bucket load of drawings, guys, and if you don't follow some kind of file naming convention, you will get twisted up really, really quickly, okay? So CET for CAD, let's put this in my session A, LMNO session A, and okay, so we'll do CET for CAD hospital here on this one. Oopsie, oopsie. Cool, sweet, yay. Made a drawing. Now, once I've saved this thing, okay, I need to go out to File, Export the drawing, okay? So File, Export Drawing, okay? Because, right, you got the CMDR dub, you have the CT drawing, then you have this one. So I'm going to keep that name. Thankfully, it keeps it, CET for CAD, put it in session A. Good, 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 good. And click Save. Now, when you do that, you're going to get this dialog box, and watch this, experiment with this, and we'll take a look at it. I have a couple drawings out there. One's the 2D view, separate from the 3D view. I'm going to take them both in this case, all right? The rest of the stuff is fine. exported CAD drawing as XREF files, and we'll see that in a moment when the dialog box pops back up, right? So you click OK.
Okay.
Hi, this has taken the drawing that you brought in and took it back out and made it an XREF on the way out. That's the paraphrase of this without the finger puppets. Okay, so you click OK on that one. Then you go over to AutoCAD, where you go to Open, Mervyn's. And then you go into your C, because you have that file naming convention, you don't have to go looking for those things very far. CET for CAD, open that one up, click Okie doke out of this resulting dialog box. You should probably check the box at the bottom. Continue doing that. Now, this is the second of the two, come here, sweetheart. Thank you. Don't you hate that? Yeah, when you're presenting to 50 people, you do. So, please, God, let this work. So now when you click on it, here's the second XREF thing we were talking about, all right? So this truly proves that you have an XREF here. Now, let's run down that hill, all right? So this is an XREF. Go into the Open XREF dialog box, or Open XREF button, Open Reference button here. You could do Ref Edit. I like going out and opening the drawing itself and doing the thingy thing in the drawing. So I open the reference. This is my CAD for CET, okay? So I'll come on over here, and they've decided that this coffee break room, they're going to open it up. They're going to take this wall out. So I'll take this wall out of here, and we'll save it. Save the drawing. Go back to the original, okay? And we're going to see our little balloon down at the bottom says, hey, this has been updated. So we can click our update down there, and sure enough, it updates this. Okay? But which one is in CET? This CAD for CET in the hospital, right? So I go back to CET, woot woot. You click on it, and you grab settings, and you reload it, and poof, you've got that. So gang, we have full circle, hon. We have full circle on drawing that we did in AutoCAD, take it to CET, make a modification over in AutoCAD, change it here, take it back. So all that goes around. Yes, sir. See that hand.
So I did this the other day for a project that's got like 250 workstations.
Yeah.
And it's like a 13 meg.
In CET?
No.
The AutoCAD drawing?
CAD.
Shoot fire.
I tried all the cleanups.
Yeah?
And it just, I was saving like a half a meg. So I downloaded
Shoot.
like 11 and a half. But I finally ended up having to do flatten with 8 hours.
Of the AutoCAD drawing?
Yeah.
Shoot.
But it did work, and it dropped me down to like 3.
I didn't think about that. That's true. Depends on who Joe Bob is that you get the drawing from, right? If they do something in AutoCAD architecture or something squirrely, yeah, I forgot about flatten. That's a good one. I should make a note about that.
But exporting from CET back into AutoCAD, that's where it blew up.
Ah,
And because I had all my symbols and stuff.
sure.
Is there any other thought on like shrinking?
Getting it back over there. W-blocking out the whole drawing, that's another thing. Flatten's good. Haven't done W-block of the whole drawing before. There is the get her down to just, nubbins and then W-block the whole thing out. But if you don't have time for that and you do have a full-on drawing, I'm good with that. I still W-block it because W-block it kind of runs the drawing through a sieve and takes it out on the other side. And it usually will be a little leaner on the other side. That's the only thing I can think of, brother. Sometimes it's just big. Sometimes it just snows, That's the best I have on that one. Good question. Okay. Yes, sir. Oi! Ah! Thank you. See? Okay. All right. Thanks, Peter. CET furniture in AutoCAD. I do have a couple of drawings right here. I knew this was going to happen. So if you have a drawing, here's just a real quick Miller station that I brought in. Some freestanding CET blocks in AutoCAD have data, systems typically won't. What I'm finding is the seating on most of our product lines will have attributes brought in. What you're seeing here is a customization of the rollover tooltips. When you do this on your system, with the exception of those of you I've trained on this, you will not see all this information. You will see color, layer, and line type. So this is a rollover tooltip. But what we see here is that you have the seating has data in it, but you go to the work surface, you got squat. You go to the PED, you got squat. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, sometimes you might find that that particular block, be it 2D or 3D, you go, oh gosh, that one block of which there are several, I want to go in there and change X, change something, raise the bracket or whatever. And in AutoCAD speak, you would use block editor. However, ... what I've discovered is that all CET blocks that have come in to AutoCAD have a leading asterisk, so cannot be edited in the block editor. I don't know if that was intentional, if that is something on the developer side that they are aware of or not aware of. I cannot imagine the amount of code that's in this software. I am humbled by what they are doing with it. But one of the things that happens is if it comes in, you'll notice there's a leading asterisk on that block name right there. And if you have a leading asterisk, you can explode it all day long, dude. You can blow that thing up all day long, but you cannot use block editor to go in, change an iteration of it, the definition of it, and then have it update the remainder, okay? So that's the one thing to consider. However, on the other hand, in layer walk speak, we know in fact that we can go in here, and if we had a cap part and we had a chair, we have A-fern-seat, A-fern-seat-T, right? So in most cap and project symbols, you have multiple layers making a single block. And all of the blocks come in and sit on A-fern, right? So A-fern's the carpet, and you have all these other blocks. Similarly, what we have here is you click on here and you can arrow down, arrow down, arrow down, arrow down, arrow down. So the layers do come in separate. They are created and brought in on one layer. But then what happens is they restore on exit and go back to here. They do come in all on CET default. So it's cap-esque in how they're treated, the blocks are treated. So I did want to mention that one, the 3D. Oh, the other thing I put on the tool palette, y'all, let me open up the 3D bit for you. LMNO 3D, where's my, there it is. So in here on the tool palette, I've got a, I'm going to go to the southeast isometric here, and on your tool palette, I have a couple little, there's a blue haze, so I have a little visual style that when you click that, come on sweetheart, it'll go to a, there's shades of grayish kind of thing. So shades of gray is the one that actually reads really well, but sometimes you want to see through what's behind the wall. There's another shallow panel and there's a PED behind it, something like that. So I have that one. I have a sketchy that's I put on here. This goes back to visual or back to wireframe. If you're out there in the blue haze, this goes down, takes off the sideline. So there's just a couple of things on the tool palette, all of which is in the big book on how to make those. That was subtle, wasn't it? Okay. Drawings from Revit. Ha! So, yeah, finally had that open. So here's your Joe Bob Revit drawing, right? And so if you, and again, this is not talking RevLink, but up in Revit, you can go up there and you can come down here to, where'd it go? Export. And then CAD formats, and DWG, they never told us we could. Yeah. So you make a drawing. And when the drawing comes into AutoCAD, it looks like an absolute champ. Okay. Where'd it go? Oops, I moved it over here. LMNO had all those ones other. Okay, so let me get that one open. This Revit drawing, is that it? Yeah. Okay. So there's your Revit drawing. This is exactly what it looks like when you export it out of Revit and you bring it into AutoCAD. If you don't say it like that, it won't work. So then you go into New, and then we will do a File, Import, and go into here and get my Revit sample commercial project and click Okie dokie. That's it. I mean, it's just lock and load, rock and roll, get her done, go home. Okay, so there's not a whole lot to that process in there. Cap furniture in CET. Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, I can do this. In here, I did go out there and get a sit to stand. Where did I put this thing? Come here, sweetie. There you go. The originally exploded. Okay, so let's say you have a cap pot, and you have this. And let's go to front view on this one. And so these are all parts. One more time.
You have 20 minutes left.
I do have 20?
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
It's just 20.
Oh.
Next session starts at 2:20.
No, 2:35.
Okay. So what are we going to do? I don't know. Yeah, probably back up. Let's back up. No, let's go. So since I got a minute. So my lovely bride of 32 years, who's my official photographer, she said, go over, and I'd just taken off my hat, and all y'all know I wear my hat, right? So I'd taken it off, I was checking my hair, both of them, and so it's like, how's my hair? I had no idea I was standing in front of this guy. So, how's yours? Mine's fine. How's yours? Okay. And the horses are coming down. Oh, we're good, Dad. Okay. Sorry, sidebar. Peter and I worked this out before we started. I want to let you know. Peter, tell me 10. We got 20. All right. And the people I've not trained before are going, is he like this all the time? Yes. Okay. So, back here on page 4. The other thing I want to, let me show you this one too, guys, before I get on that one. In the 2D, we have brackets. There are brackets in here, and there are actually brackets that are connecting the side work surface to the other one. There's a variable, as many of you know, called LT scale. And what I found is if I set my LT scale, LTS is your shortcut, okay? If I set my LT scale to 0.1, notice that the dots, you can't see them very well, but there are going to be different line types that are together. So there will be line types for some of these components that are brought into AutoCAD. And so check your LT scale. This is obviously for the Miller bits, but I got to think that the other product lines use something similar with those what they call non-continuous line types. So check your LT scale if you are going to go that direction. Right, edited. The visual style I mentioned a moment ago, the shades of gray, and then I gave you that other little thing in there. The other thing that we know is that in here, when we go to the layer properties, many of our layers that come in from CET, of course, have true color. And what we're finding is they are not rendering or they are not printing monochrome, because the true color says thou shalt not plot this black and white, thou shalt plot it in this color. So what we wind up needing to do then is to select those that are colored of a number, comma, number, comma, number, and go from the true color tab over to the index color tab and pick something over there. Now, when you pick something there, if you have just a number, not a RGB number, okay, that when plotting black and white will plot black and stupid white, so you will get it. So that is something that has been in the software forever, and it's just something that we have to deal with. But just knowing about it at least gives us a head up on that one. Okay, so there's your note. The layers, make sure you go over to the index color tab on that one. Okay. Drawings from Revit, been there, did that one. Okay, now, our cap furniture over here, I can close up some of these ones. So, there it is, okay. So in this one, this was indeed, I had the 3D and it is exploded, or cap part undo, whatever you want to do on the thing is fine. But had the front view here, LMNO front, okay. And instead of stretching, because these the little leggy pieces, right, the part that goes down into the collar there, I can move it. So I can just do a move on this thing. And so for my sit to stand, what if I want to take this and I just want to move it up by 7? So the idea here, where we're going, is when we take this into CET, we can put materials on this thing. It does do a material thing. The other thing I wanted to show you, though, what about drawings that we do have that are just, original, regular old cap parts? Wait, let go. Sit to stand, original. Yeah, that's the one. Is this the one I want to do? Yeah. Okay. So we have this one that is a true on cap part, and when you hover on it, as they say in Birmingham, okay, we do have the part number, and so you see all of the attributes in this thing because I have this rollover tooltip set up to show me the attributes of a block when I hang out on it. Okay, so I'm going to take both of these over into two separate drawings over into CET to show you how you do bring this in. Although Rob did a great job in the CET class, or in the what do you call it, project matrix session, correct. So coming on over here, where was I? Let me go back to this one. I'm going to, since I got a hot second here, I'm going to close up a couple of these ones. Don't need that one anymore. Getting a little cluttered here, Michael. Sample, don't need that one. Oh, I'm going to save that one. Okay, keep that one, keep that one. Okay, so let me come back here to my exploded one that I moved up there, saving it, because I tend to forget to save, as many of us forget to save, I know. Okay, there we go. And this went into my CAD files. So back into CET. So go into New and go to Open, File, Import. Okay, and where from? And this was in CAD files, LMNO CAD files. One quick moment. This dialog box is not what many of you normally see in CET. What you all see is this one. So at lunch yesterday, my seatmate said, dude, I didn't say dude, but he says, hey, I was whining about the fact that in the default open dialog box of CET, you got no headers. You got this thing, right? It's like, I hate and you can't find squat in that thing because there's no header. You got this little thing over here or whatever. But it's like, no. I wish they would. Hey, if you go into Control Panel, down at Advanced at the bottom, the reason I didn't check it for the last year and a half because it's not recommended. No! Yes! So, yeah, do that, Holmes. Shoot fire. Now go open. Oh, it's sortable. You can look through this. Hallelujah. Training is over. The rest is gravy. All right. So I know, is that nuts? So it was Control Panel, Advanced, and then the one at the top says, don't do this. So yeah. So be radical and just say, show me this thing. So just wanted to, I thought to myself, show them that, show them that, show them that. Okay. Amity likes it, so we're good. CAD files. Then what we wanted to do, what am I in? Oh, and I'm in Import. I'm in Import. So I needed to do, am I in Import? Yes, I am. Then I go into here. There you go. Okay, CAD files. I'd switched my dialog box one. And it was the sample 3D2 AutoCAD. No, it was the sit to stand. Date modified. There it is. Okay, exploded. Good. Bring this thing in and okie doke that. And then get a split view thing going on here. When I click on it, in fact, it is, it's a part. It does have no calculation in it because it was exploded. Okay, now we'll circle back and we'll look at the other thing here in a moment. But the point I wanted to make here was, even though you did that, you can go into Material Lab and go get something. And if you were in, let's see, what class was it? Where if you bring material in 2D, it does the whole thing, but you do it in 3D, it does just the piece that you're hanging on, right? So if you pick a bowling ball here and you pick on that one, it does the whole drawing, the whole component. Or you do it in 3D and you have the little, tabby little place where you can put it if you want to, or you can just click on it, okay? So the point being, had cap furniture, did cap part undo or explode, whatever method you like to do. Now, I'm a big proponent of a cap part undo if you're going to continue in Cappy speak. Okay, but if you're going to explode, that's fine if you're not going to do that. But the idea is we get it in CET, and by golly, we can put normal materials on this. Okay, you with me on that? Does that make sense? Okay. Next, lastly-ish, the other thing I wanted to show you is if, in fact, you do one now and you bring one in, and we'll go to File, Import on this one, and go get the regular one, regular sit to stand, okay, out of my CAD files, original. Okay, this is what Rob was talking about. You come on in here. Now, this is a real live cap part. But the thing is, you need to go through Project Matrix. Okay, Smart Money says you go into Project Matrix, convert drawing. Okay, this drawing has cap parts in it. You go okie doke. It goes bzz, bzz, does a little thing. You click okie doke. And sure enough, you now have a calculation view because it goes out there, gets the Project Matrix part, brings the thing in, and go baby go, and you've got your part. The thing to be mindful of, though, is when you do that, you're going to want to move over the 3D. Okay, so you do have a 2D on a 3D kind of thing. You have to, kind of watch what you're doing on that one. But this will also receive the material as well. All right, is everybody cool on that one? And lastly, just with finger puppets here, if in fact, so here's my note. Importing a drawing with standard 2D or 3D furniture from 2020 CAD. And when the drawing is converted, the parts are 3D and in the calculation. Cool, sweet, that's what we just did. The CAD parts are retained after the conversion, so you may want to scoot the 3D part over. The next thing is, though, on the top of that next page, come here, sweetheart. Okay, so you can put materials on it, yay, whoop whoop. Both standard and custom 2D parts will accept finishes. Custom 3D cap parts. So if you make a custom 3D cap part, you go, cap, part, make part, and you go through the dialog box, you will recall in the part where you're putting in the name and all the information, it starts with, at least in Miller, it says special and then the name, okay? So what will happen, those specials will come in, and so here's what we've seen in the cap, make new cap part, as special, so this information does come into CET, but it's not going to be found. The good news is it came in, dude. I mean, yay, it's there. And now we can take it from there and we can move forward. Okay? So there's that thought on that. And lastly, 3D walls. Yay, woo-woo. Had an issue with this one, but I think I've got it. So what I did is I made these 3D walls. And the one thing I want to show you, oh, and on the tool palette, I have a top button, UCS World Top. You ever get a drawing and it's all cockeyed and it's like, I can't get this thing back to the top. On your what do you call it? Tool palette, I got UCS World Top. And it just goes right down to the top of the thing. So you just hit that, say, all y'all come here and just go back down to the top. So what we have in here is walls that I made with a routine called D-line, and many of you that I've been with in training before know that little files I hand out, one of them is D-line, stands for double line. So you type DL, enter, and this will be available when Kelsey posts this thing. Set the width, 6 inches, set the drag line to right. Okay, and then when you pick a start point, you go up 15 feet, and you go over 26 feet, whatever. And so you do that and you press enter, it puts little caps on the back end of it. Okay, so it puts little, it does this little thing. You don't have to do P-line, offset, trim, and all that other goober thing that you've been doing in AutoCAD. Then the point of this exercise is when you go into 3D, when you get it around to 3D, and this is why I set my pick box to 2 a moment ago, pick box, skinny jeans 2. Okay, then right here on your tool palette is press pull. Okay, when you have a closed shape and you use press pull and you get your little cursor right inside of that thing, you can raise this thing up and say 10 foot. Now, this is something that those of you, who have used extrude before, it's extrude-esque, but the thing is, this is a single product. Okay, sorry, this is a single part, and the good news is the primitive lines are still there. When you use extrude, it kind of morphs the primitive shape into the 3D, and if you want to change that one, oh, shoot fire, I forgot to make a copy so I can modify the second one, right? So the thing here is, though, now you can take this into CET and map materials to the critter. So let me take this out because I found that if I do this a second time, it may not work. Okay, so I'm going to save that one. Oh, good, I got 6 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. So back into CET, open a 23rd drawing. Did you know Control-W is close? Control-W is your hotkey in CET to close, and Control-Tab cycles between the open CET drawings like it does in AutoCAD. What? I know. So Control-W is close in CET speak. Control-Tab cycles between open CET drawings just like it does in AutoCAD. Control-Tab to cycle between open drawings. Okay, all right, just little hotkey thingies. Okay, so I'll Control-W out of these and get her down to a little less clutter. So that's it. I basically brought that in before we got going. And so now you go out here to our material exploder and you go to some stone that you saw at the Borghese Gallery in Rome. And so then you can just, come here, sweetheart. Zoom in, come here. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Zoom in all objects. Thank you so much. Okay, and then pick and place. And you got, so that came from AutoCAD. right? So you had your 3D drawings. So again, if you feel a little more comfortable doing your AutoCAD bits and doing your 3D bits, you can certainly do that in there. Bring it on in. Of course, you know, once you get into CET, there is on the Walls tab here, you have the ability of just drawing the walls and snapping to it and tracing it around the thing like that. Okay. Okay, and there's press, pull. Ta-da! 4 minutes. By golly. Okay, time for questions. Bring it. What do you got? I see that hand.
So one of the issues I have a lot is when a designer and architect sends me the AutoCAD plan,
Sir.
they haven't bound their drawing. And so my designers then
Yep.
open it up and clean it up, but they don't do the XREF.
XREFs are in there. Right.
And they don't realize until they're trying to pull it into
Uh-huh.
CET that, oh, where are my walls at?
Okay, that's an education issue at that point. Familiarity with how AutoCAD's dealing with that. Good catch on your part to know that. Maybe you do a little lunch and learn. Says, hey, if you have that little icon down at the bottom that says XREF, you want to click on that thing and bind those up. A little bit about binding. Oh, shoot fire. You ever see $0 in here? Maybe I can do this real quick. Good old floor plan. Oh, here. What I'll do is I'll make a new drawing. Can't get to that one. Do new, and I'll do XR, and I'll bring this one in. Come here, sweetie. My minutes are ticking. And go in here, but this is important. I want to go into my CAD files and sure. Okay, and set her down, okie doke. Now, you ever see $0 in layer names? So when you import a drawing, when you XREF a drawing, of course, name of the drawing, vertical post, name of the layer, drawing layer, drawing layer, drawing layer. When you go out to, and this is relevant. When you go out there and you bind them, he mentioned binding. Okay, so what happens is when you right-click on here and you hit bind, the reason you guys are seeing $0 where there used to be a little post is because you're running with the default. If you go, oh yeah, bind, okay. Well, if I do that and I do bind, you go, okay, and then look in the layer list, I got $0 up one side and down the other. Okay, don't do that. So what let's do is let's undo that one. This time when I right click on here and do bind, use insert. Use insert. Click okie dokie. Says, all right, if there are no layer naming conflicts, it brings the layer in. Says, you're the same. Just brings it on in. So consequently, obviously, your layer list is going to be substantially shorter. Okay, so not in the book. Good point. When you do bind, use the insert option, not the bind option. But that's, you just got to let them know, Bubba. Okay, that's all you can do is for that. Yes. Okay, 2 minutes. What do we got? Anyone? Ms. Eddington?
So back in CET, when you have the dialog box open,
Yes.
you'll see that there's a new button in there called Embed CAD.
Where am I need to be? Ian?
Open up your settings as if you were to.
Oh, if I had a
import.
drawing?
Yeah.
Where's my imported drawing? I might have lost that one. Oh, I guess I can do this one. Yeah,
Yeah, there you
settings,
go.
yes.
So right there, you'd have to be under the advanced. You don't have
Yes.
to check that Embed CAD. That will actually stay within CET. So if you are not on your server and you have to send somebody a drawing, you don't have to actually do a pack and go anymore. It also
Okay.
makes your drawing file a little bit smaller.
Okay, so we do want this checked.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
then we don't have to do the pack and go, it just kind of comes with. When we send the CMDR dub.
Exactly.
Okay, good, thank you. I saw that and I couldn't figure out why that was working.
It's a newer thing.
Okay,
I just learned
okay.
about it too, so.
Way to go, Em. Nux. Okay. So, in your book, or just make a note, when you bring this is, it doesn't matter when this happens, right? You can get it in and then go.
You check it one time, it's like
Yes.
the other stuff under advanced.
Okay.
Like check it once, you're good. The only time that you would ever have to go back in there and check that kind of stuff
Right.
is if you fully uninstalled.
Uninstall
CET.
it, brought it back in.
That's it.
Got
I
it.
literally check my stuff. I
Gotcha.
put advanced settings back up so I don't have to see all that baloney,
Perfect.
and I'm done.
Good, Amy. Thank you so much, hon. So embed CAD file in drawing is under advanced, people. So when you get yours might be shut off right here. So click your advanced settings and do your embed CAD in file drawing. CAD file in drawing. Okay. 2:20. Yum. All right. Thank you so much. Love you all. Thanks for coming by. You're very welcome. Yay.